Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. The topic I want to hit today is talking about anxiety and catastrophic thinking and the negative effect that it has on your life. Now, the first thing that I just want to talk about for a moment is I had anxiety for most of my life, to include the sweaty palms. I mean, there was a period of time where I was even thinking about, okay, how do I deal with that? Do I need to do that surgery that, disconnects your sweat glands from your hand and stuff like that? And I would constantly get stressed at work and just be overthinking and overanalyzing everything that was going on. And to be honest, I thought that it was something that I would never be able to escape or heal from, or actually I didn't even think that there was a change that could occur within me that would correct that without surgery or something. That wasn't the case. And I got a few bullet points I want to go over on this. I've seen some people dealing with this lately that I think it would be good to review, return to this topic of anxiety and catastrophic thinking. First item on the bullet is it is a trap. If you allow yourself to fall into your own anxiety and your own catastrophic thinking, it is like crawling in or jumping into a hole that is almost impossible to climb out of. Now, the thing is, in the second bullet on there, narcissistic, toxic people capitalize on your reaction. Most of these people have been studying you for an extended period of time, so they know what buttons to push. They know what items to focus on to get you to start ramping up your own anxiety. And like I say on this bullet, the next one anyways, is to get you in that mode of catastrophic thinking. I don't know how many times I personally fell into that trap. I would start overanalyzing, overthinking, catastrophizing on how bad things were going to happen. I'm going to lose the kids. I'm going to lose all my money. I'm going to lose my job. My career is going to get ruined. My kids are going to hate me. Just this laundry list of, let me sit there and come up with the worst case scenarios of what I think might happen. And it wasn't even in my situation, it wasn't even that, the ex had to point that out. Like, you're going to lose full custody. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. And you're going to do, this is going to be your life. I mean, there was a tiny little bit of that, but I was my own worst enemy on this far more. And I inflicted more damage on myself, far more than the ex or anyone else would ever do. Now, you take that response, you couple it into probably the hardest thing that you'll ever experience in a toxic divorce and a custody issue, and you can easily start to spiral absolutely out of control on that and drive yourself into a deep, dark hole. However, it's the next bullet. You have the power to break this. You have the ability to stop this from happening and to put a pattern interrupt so that you don't continue to think that way. Now, don't get me wrong. This is absolutely not easy to do. It takes a lot of work. You have to really put in some effort to break that cycle. I mean, the first thing, the one bullet I have on there is that you have to slow yourself down. You have to, literally take a deep breath. Bring yourself right back into, okay, I'm okay right this second. Get yourself to break that pattern interrupt to calm yourself down. But you have to do it. You have to either have a technique or have, a technique to do it, or a plan in place where you know what to do. Like for me, in my approach is to slow myself down, to take deep breaths, to put on meditation music, anything that's got a tempo that's slower, that I can focus on that rhythmic beat to get myself more grounded and stop that catastrophic anxiety thinking. And then the last bullet on this is that it takes a long time to master your own anxiety. It took me a tremendously long amount of time. Now, let me roll this back to what I was talking about in the beginning about the anxiety I used to have, and that I thought it was that lifelong companion that was just part of me, and I even convinced myself that gave me that edge, that anxiety, that extra tension was actually a positive thing, because it kept me on my toes, and it kept me making, promoting at work and stuff like that. Well, when you get caught in a toxic environment or toxic situation, toxic high conflict divorces, you're dealing in a situation that is completely beyond your control, or it feels that way. Well, technically it is, but it makes it so easy to start going down that rabbit hole of chaos by your own design, and where you just ramp everything up, and things, instead of getting slower, they get faster and faster and faster, and your brain is going 1,000 miles an hour, spitting at you the narrative of how horrific things are going to be, or how bad things are going to go. What I can tell you from my experience personally, my experience dealing with coaching clients, and then just dealing with people via email or direct message or whatever, most people can take control of this and take their life back. And not to say that anxiety never enters my realm. It does. And I will say, in full honesty, last year, as I've mentioned in a video at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, there was a lot of things that happened in 2024, not really related to the ex per se, that were incredibly stressful and did bring my anxiety up. And I used all of the techniques that I talk about on this channel to keep myself from going insane. Was it easy? No. But knowing that I had the skills, and knowing that I've had experience where I've been able to take back my own power, helped me believe that as I was doing it, that I would get through it, that I would, the worst case scenario that might happen, that there was a pathway and I would figure it out, and it wasn't just, everything was going to be horrible. Now, the interesting part about that is this is a crazy part. My experience has been is when I do that, when I am able to slow myself down, break that, put my own pattern interrupt in there to get my mind back into a more realistic view of what's going to happen. Generally, the worst case scenario, or even the semi worst case scenario, goes away. It doesn't happen. So now, I get that with custody issues and stuff like that, the court thing adds an extensive amount of time to things. So it makes it easier to fall into this anxiety trap. But I'm here to tell you that you don't fall victim to that catastrophic thinking. I was even thinking like that demonic thought of how everything is just going to go to crap. That is what they're trying to get you to do. They want you to tear yourself down, and typically that causes you to make mistakes. I have worked with a lot of people where they'll just get so ramped up that they'll lash out and cause themselves more problems, that where if they would have been able just to slow themselves down, effectively get out of the way of the toxic person, to let them just implode on themselves on their own and not interfere, it works out so much better. Most of the time when we get our anxiety ramped up and then we engage, just lash out like fight or flight, or we're just so angry that we want the other person to feel some of the same thing we are, so we try to do something, it typically blows up in your face and gets used against you. It's happened to me. I'd say something, or we early on would say or do something, and it would inevitably end up either in a statement or a court document of, well, they, Dwayne did this, and that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping for you to help contribute to your own demise, and capitalizing on your anxiety and your ability, I guess is probably not the greatest word, but your can't think of the right word. Not ability, but your pattern, that you will take that and then ramp it into this catastrophic thinking, wargaming out the worst possible scenario, will get you to respond in a way that they want you to respond. So I hope this was helpful. If you can relate to this and have some of your own stories, add those in the comments below. If you made it this far, the magic word of the video is book. Like, I'm going to go read a book. So put that in the comments below so I know you made it to the end. If you have something that you would like me to cover, or something that you think that you want me to provide an opinion or a thought or a process on, put that in the comment section below, and I will catch you on the next video. Take care.